Every console has its own unique controller. The NES, the Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, and PlayStation, just to name a few. And all of them have their own share of accessories to add numerous joy of gameplay. Now, probably the most common accessory that was ported to nearly every gaming console was a gun controller. Now, while your official controller was your main peripheral, gun controllers had their own method of style and gameplay. Most of the gun controllers and even games originated from your local arcade or amusement park, store, and so on. It was when gaming companies decided to develop and manufacture their own home console versions of arcade classics and guns and games for us to buy and use in our own comfort at home, which meant we could pretty much practice our favourite arcade titles and beat them every time we went out. Now, being that I have a wide collection of video game consoles, gun controllers are a must-have. And being that I'm a big fan of shooting games, today we're going to take a look at some gun controllers that I personally own. The NES Zapper Light Gun. Now, this came in my NES action set that I purchased a year ago. Released in 1985, the original NES Zapper came in a grey silver colour, but later on had to change to orange because of some regulations that toy guns could not look like real guns, or something like that. It's still the same thing, just a different colour. The Zapper had a standard NES plug and did not need any additional power supply. It powered off the NES itself, and it was used to support NES games such as Duck Hunt and Wild Gunman, as well as other titles like Operation Wolf and Gumshoe, which is just really weird and fun. The term light gun means when an object is hit or shot, the whole screen would turn black for a split second, and objects would flash white. This would allow the game to detect whether the object was hit or not. If you blinked, you would miss it. It's just that fast. Overall, the Zapper to this day is a great fun and feels incredible. With its simple design and Nintendo's amazing build quality, this gun will last for a long time. Plus, that clicking noise, come on, that's just the best. Okay, so I've already talked about the Super Nintendo gun in another video. It had some pros, mostly cons. Unlike the Zapper, this thing is wireless, which you think would be good, but no! It takes 6 AA batteries. And this thing just eats them. I mean, if the original Zapper could power off the Nintendo itself, why can't this? And just the overall design is cool, yeah, but uncomfortable. And just feels awkward to hold and shoot. Yeah, moving on. Now, with a fresh start on my Sega collection that I started a few months ago, I had to get some gun controllers too. This is the Sega Master System's Light Phaser. It was the same concept to the Zapper, just only for the Sega system. Released in 1986, this gun came with the Sega Master System Plus set. It was meant to be superior to the Zapper, but in my opinion it feels kind of weird to hold. The main grip feels awkward. I don't know, just hold a Zapper, then this, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Some great games for the Light Phaser included Safari Hunt, Gangster Town, and Operation Wolf, which, in my opinion, looks kind of better than the NES version. Overall, the Light Phaser was great fun, but a bit weird looking, and over time you'd hear things break and rattle, and you'd kind of had to replace them. Now, speaking of Sega, there was also a gun released for the Mega Drive or Genesis, depending on where you live, that was wireless too, called the Sega Menacer. Released in 1992, and much like the Super Scope, it took 6 batteries. But no, to even piss us off more, they had to be AAA batteries. I mean, come on, why such annoying batteries? AAAs? What's wrong with just standard AA batteries? And again, like the Super Scope, the lifetime sucked. Fine, I'll put in the damn batteries. Okay, where did they go? Here? No. Here? No. Here? 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 No. Where the hell did these damn batteries go? Oh, okay, I just have to detach all this pointless crap off it, and there you go. What a pain in the ass. I mean, could there not be a more convenient way of putting the batteries in this? And what is all this pointless crap? I mean, do you really think this will improve the gameplay? Gah. Anyway, like the Super Scope, you had to attach a sensor into the second player input on your Sega, and it had its own 6-in-1 games, and, well, yeah, they kind of suck. This one where I'm bouncing a ball off the wall? Yeah, really fun. The only real memorable game I can think of for the Menacer was the Terminator 2 arcade game, which is pretty cool. All you do is just shoot, 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 and blow shit up. There was one for the Super Nintendo as well, but I much prefer the Sega Genesis one. But overall, that's the Menacer. It was a weird, unique gun, had some flaws, and there was not really that much games released for it. And not to mention 6 AAA batteries! Moving on. Now, with Sega and Nintendo at war, Sega released a few add-ons to try to compete with the Nintendo, one of which was the Sega CD, which I've talked about in previous videos, but a great game that came out, and as well as a gun. This was the Konami Justifier. Now, there were versions made for it like the PlayStation and even the original Sega, but I'm going to talk about the Sega CD one. The first thing is that it looks like a Python revolver or a 357 Magnum, and that's pretty cool. It feels great, and overall it's just a really, really nice gun. It was able to have power off the console, so no damn batteries. You can put your wallet back in your pocket. Some of the games were Corpse Killer, Snatcher, and my personal favourite, Lethal Enforcers. This gun feels like a real arcade gun. For one thing, to simply reload, all you have to do is just shoot outside the screen. The build quality is excellent, and overall, it's Konami. How could you not like it? Now all I have to do is just spray paint it black, and then it'll be really kick-ass. Now let's talk about some guns for the PlayStation. This is the Namco GunCon 1, or G-Con 1 for the PlayStation 1. This was released in 1994 along with the game Point Blank. And unlike the older gun controllers, this one required an additional box that you had to plug a video RCA into it, and then the main AV cable out from the PlayStation, which would go into the back of the box. Reasons for doing this was it uses a cathode ray timing method which determined where the barrel is aimed at on the screen. When the trigger is pulled, it features a button below the barrel on either side of the gun, buttons A and buttons B, both performing the same function, but for auxiliary in-game control such as cover and reload, like in Time Crisis. Speaking of Time Crisis, there was also a gun made for the PS2 along with Time Crisis 2, also made by Namco, called the G-Con, GunCon 2. Had the same hookup type, but unlike the PlayStation 1 where the gun would hook up to a regular controller input, the GunCon 2 would plug into one of the USB ports on the PlayStation 2. Pretty cool, I guess, so. Pretty cool, I guess. And so was Time Crisis 2. It was so cool that there was even a Time Crisis 3 released for the PS2, but not a different gun. Although the GunCon 2 was pretty cool, it had the same aiming method and reload buttons, gamers got tired of it and searched for third-party controllers. Now there were tons of them, I mean, like this one, made by 4Gamers. It looked like the GunCon 2, but it had extras like turbo fire and auto reload, plus was backwards compatible for PS1 and PS2. So that was a bonus, plus it vibrated, which kinda puts you off, but not a whole lot. Now speaking of compatibility, there was also gun controllers that were able to be used in 2 different consoles, or more, altogether, like this one, the Logic 3 Predator. Unfortunately, this gun does not work no more, but from what we can tell, it was been able to use for PS1, PS2, and Sega Saturn. That's pretty cool. Now being that I was a PlayStation fan growing up, I missed out on other gun games and controllers, like this one, for the Xbox. It's again a third-party controller made by 4Gamers. It was pretty much the same thing as the PS2 one, but green and different colour to match the Xbox theme. It worked great for House of the Dead 3, plus it had turbo controllers and vibrated also. Another one I missed out was the Sega Dreamcast gun, which to be honest, looks awesome. And unlike the PS2 hookup box thing, this one just plugged directly into the system with no additional box needed. Plus the gun took the memory VMU cards plus the rumble pack, which was probably the coolest thing. It feels amazing playing games like Confidential Mission and House of the Dead 2. So, as you can see, I have a lot of great gun controllers, a lot of great games. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, rate, comment, whatever. I have to go take care of some personal business. Well, that's one problem taken care of.